do.
Not a baby Bjorn, though. That was probably like the best way to sum up the way Patrick Beverley was playing defense on Devin Booker. He's limited Booker in the series, which led him to moving into the starting lineup in Game 2. Now, Booker has shot just 5 of 19 when Beverley is the primary defender, averaging under half a point per play. He has shot 40% against all other defenders, and obviously slowing down Devin Booker is a big part of anyone who's going to try to have success against these Phoenix Suns, and it seems as though they found the answer. I mean, maybe, I don't know. It's been Pat Bev. I mean, how have you seen it actually happen, Professor J. Will?
You can make so much money when you understand who you are and what you do exceptionally well. And Patrick Beverley has one job. He has one objective: to disrupt the rhythm of Devin Booker. Let me show you guys what I mean in this tape. It's the perpetual ball pressure that you love about Patrick Beverley. He's going to meet Devin Booker early. You're going to see him here. Ball's being casually brought up the court. You know what? I'm going to make you work right now. 47 feet away from the basket. I'm going to disrupt your vision. Now you're going to see the Suns are trying to get into this set. CP3 is going to try to go to the corner. You're going to have Campaign trying to go up top. It's going to be a little play where you're going to have 1-2. You're going to have him pop up Jay Crowder. Jay Crowder's going to be looking for the ball, but the pressure forces Devin Booker to see an opportunity and go. The floor spacing isn't even really there. He gets a hand on the ball, and this is everything. This is what you love as a defender. Look at the energy of Patrick Beverley, and look at Devin Booker. Devin Booker's barking at the ref, then he goes back toward the ref, Jay Rose. That's what you like. Once again, another play. Patrick Beverley sees the opportunity. Devin Booker at the bottom, right there, and he sees the vision. He's yelling to Paul George, switch, PG. If he comes off this screen, switch. If he doesn't, if he's going to come around and it's going to be a dribble handoff, I'm going to chase. Look, that's effort. Chases over the top. Devin Booker reveals the ball, Jay Rose, and look at the left hand. You always hear coaches talk about players having active hands. He gets his hand on it. Boom. Fast break. Devin Booker flustered again.
Great breakdown, Jay Will. 15 points. That's the fewest Devin Booker scored in the playoffs this year. 27%. That's the worst in back-to-back games all season. But if you're going to pick Devin Booker up 47 feet, you know what you got to do? Clear it out. See, he turned his back because he ain't have nowhere to drive and go downhill. If he going to pick me up like that, go flat. Now you can put him on his heels. And then on the second play, DeAndre ain't got to set the pick, dog.
Exactly.
I'm wearing this dude.
Got to hit somebody.
You got to set the pick and give me some room to get open. So those are a couple of changes I expect to see happen.
Yeah, and the changing role of Patrick Beverley in these playoffs, going from starting point guard to coming off the bench and Reggie Jackson replacing him. I think the Clipper coaching staff, Ty Lue, and that group get a lot of credit for being able to keep Patrick Beverley engaged, focused on what his role and how they still needed him to help them in this series. And I think that's one of Ty Lue's great gifts as a head coach, is to make tough decisions that aren't necessarily popular with players, but be able to sell it to them and be able to convince them that it is what is best for their team, that gives them the best chance to win.
It definitely gives them the best chance to win, but Jalen, I'm not going to let you get out of this block without bringing up the fact that you said Patrick Beverley scores the loudest 8 points in NBA history.
Loud!
And I'm saying every single bit of that momentum is what the Clippers seem to need defensively.
It is. And so when we watching somebody like KD play, double crossover, pulling up over Giannis, that's just a loud bucket. That's what Patrick Beverley is defensively. He's not going to fill up the stat sheet with steals or blocks or even points. But those 8 points are what we're talking about, is a difference making mechanism to why they won the previous game.
The best attribute for him is he doesn't allow you to dance with the rock. You ever see like when KD or another guard, Devin Booker, they line up and you're all of a sudden the defender's parallel to half court? No, I'm not giving you optionality to go left or right. I'm telling you, you're going one way, I'm staying on your hip, and I'm funneling you into help.
All right, guys. Well, look, Devin Booker is going to have to bounce back from his lowest scoring total in the postseason so far, but he's been there before, and he draws a lot of his motivation from one game that happened in 2016 that happened against one very legendary competitor.
Booker from deep. Wow. Kobe. He's got it. Booker's tough shot. Oh, drains it.
We had a short conversation on the court, and then he left me with, meet me in the back. Let's chop it up for a little bit.
Dream come true for Devin Booker to meet his hero, Kobe Bryant.
I thought it was going to be a 2 to 3 minute convo, and ended up being 15 to 20 minutes post game. And that's when he signed the shoes to me. One shoe said, "To the young one." The next one was, "To Book, be legendary." I got "Be Legendary" tatted on my arm. That's something that Kobe left me with.
Booker for three. It's good. Booker falling away. Got it again. It's a Booker bonanza.
He also told me what I'm going to have to do to become legendary. It's a constant pursuit. You have goals, you know the steps it takes to get there, and you can't shortcut any of them. That was the thing with Kobe. This is what I have to do to get that. Well, I'm going to check off every box.
Devin Booker on fire.
That keeps you going, that keeps you driven every day. The days you don't feel like you have it, I look at my arm, I see a tattoo on me, I'm like, well, it's time to get it today. I don't care how you feel, Book. You got to be legendary today.
That's got to be an incredible experience for a young player. Now, the Suns did win that 2016 game. Booker outscored Kobe Bryant 28-17. And guys, really, we'd be remiss if we didn't mention this, but 25 years ago today, Kobe Bryant was drafted into the NBA. And obviously, we're in the house that Kobe helped build, so we had to bring that up. But the impact that he's had on Devin Booker and how he's trying to build his legendary status in this postseason, every single game matters to him.
Absolutely. Rest in peace, Black Mamba. And like Kobe Bryant, Devin Booker, and even Giannis to a certain extent, I'm glad to see their effort in being legendary pay off, because at different points in both of their careers, mainstream media and so many fans felt like they should leave their current location, Milwaukee or Phoenix, for greener pastures. Devin Booker continued to work, continued to lead, now he's in the Western Conference Finals.
And this Western Conference Finals is a huge learning opportunity for him, considering it's his first one. Look, you can't combat physicality with finesse, J. Rose, right? And I think that's what you saw throughout the progress of Kobe. Like, there would be times he would sometimes fade away, but most of the time he created contact. He got to the free throw line. And I think that's an opportunity for D-Book to punish Patrick Beverley, get to the free throw line, them say, hey, your hands can't be on me all the time, but you have to combat that with being physical as well.
And listen, it was hard going for Devin Booker early in his career in Phoenix. This was a very dysfunctional organization with constant issues at every turn, and you did wonder whether he would be here long term. But two people came into his life in successive years: Monty Williams as coach, and then Chris Paul as his point guard. And it has not only changed the trajectory of this Suns franchise, but it's changed Devin Booker's career.
Let's take it back to the court a little bit and decide what the Suns have to adjust offensively. Because we saw in that first quarter, DeAndre Ayton had 10 points. He didn't get a ton of looks in the second quarter. Is it necessary to go back to the big man, feed him, or what are the ways that they can get more looks? Chris Paul was obviously off, but he's coming back from COVID protocols, and we don't know when he's going to feel like himself again.
Well, we knew Chris Paul wasn't himself his first shot, because it was an air ball.
Yeah.
And I like what Monty Williams said about getting him those minutes to kind of get him ready and integrated to this game. But I'm going to throw out a couple of names that we haven't mentioned. One in particular, Jay Crowder. They're going to not only need him to make shots, but they're going to need him to be a bodyguard for Devin Booker to help get Patrick Beverley off of him. Same with another name, DeAndre Ayton. And we saw Cameron Payne out there shooting. Hopefully the young fella's healthy and can play some quality minutes tonight.
See, I want to increase the pace of the game. I think when we saw in Game 3, there was a lot more half-court sets where CP3 dominated the ball, pulled it out, got the miss up. I'm not saying you can't do that when it's called for, but increase the pace of the game. Give Devin Booker easy looks at the rim. Get it same for CP3. Work inside out instead of taking so many three-point shots outside in.
And that's the answer to the question. In order to get DeAndre Ayton more touches and more points, they got to play faster. They're not going to come down and just drop it to him for post-ups like you see him working on right there.
You know, the Suns player we don't talk enough about is Mikal Bridges.
Yeah.
And in this series, he's held Paul George to 3 attempt shooting as the primary defender. But this is a player who came out of Villanova, had won 2 national championships, and just had such a winning pedigree, and has really blossomed under Monty Williams. And this is a player coming up on his rookie extension in the offseason. This is a $20 million a year player in the NBA.
CJ Rose, too, if you're Monty Williams, you're telling CP3, hey, I know Cam Payne got hurt last game. You had to play 35-plus minutes. I don't want you to be worried about managing your minutes this game. Run. When you get winded, let me know. I'll get Cam Payne in there, come right back in there, play fast. You see the Clippers have heavy legs.
Yeah.
Make them feel that pain.
But also with Cameron Payne and CP3, that now frees Devin Booker up to come off screens. And that's another thing. They got to put Patrick Beverley in the pinball machine. Force him to chase Devin Booker off screens. Get Booker some open shots.
Hey, look, Chris Paul and Devin Booker missed 30 shots combined. I don't imagine a world in which that happens again. That's their most combined misses, ties for their most this season. So I don't imagine that happening again when they can get those looks, the mid-range that we love to see CP3 knocking down. And he did say that he wants to increase the pace in this game here tonight.
Plus, it helps you find your rhythm. I mean, when CP3 is taking a jump shot for his first shot, get to the free throw line, build that lather up. I mean, that's what you want to see for Devin Booker, too. Play inside out is so important.
Absolutely. As you see, as Maria just mentioned, having those two guys miss 30 shots, that's not normal.
Yeah.
That's historic. And both of those guys, here's what you watch for. The art of the mid-range. Both of those guys are in the top 4 in the NBA at making shots in the mid-range. Watch both of those guys get into those operating areas.
I also feel like I'm, just knowing CP3 a little bit, how competitive he is.
Yeah.
When you watch that game 3 and you saw Patrick Beverley make shots or go to the crowd, get everybody hyped up. And you saw Reggie Jackson come down and do his little thing on the ground. Like all that stuff, like that fits with a guy like CP3. It's like, oh, y'all won one game and this is how we're acting. Okay, like that stuff can transition to a game like this.
And don't forget, too, the way that CP3 was playing against the Nuggets in the series before. I mean, he was 65% on those non-paint two-pointers. I mean, he was knocking them down coming off the 29-point game. I mean, the way that he was playing, if he gets back to that, I mean, it could be lights out in this Western Conference Finals series. So we'll see whether or not he can get back to that again. Played 39 points in his return from health and safety protocols. Meanwhile, Paul George, he's had to shoulder a lot of the scoring responsibilities for the Clippers. And coming back, we're going to talk more about PG shooting. Kirk Goldsberry will delve into exactly how and where the Clipper star is shining the brightest on the court.